really want to start with, it's a bit of a funny one. And again, want to get your opinion on it. So your name, Dan Andrew. Now, obviously you're from Victoria. When the pandemic was going on, was there a bit of conflict there? Was there any shit going at work or not really?
No, not really. Like, it's probably took like a few weeks for people to sort of, I guess, sort of click onto it. It wasn't until it, started getting right into the pandemic and stuff was happening. That's when I didn't cop, like, it was all joking around. It wasn't like anything, nothing like I copped on social media, mate, that's for sure. So, yeah, it's all fun and games. So, well, yeah, you could imagine on social media as every bloke thought they was the first time saying something. So, it was quite a laugh.
I'm glad I asked you that. What was, when you say social media, did you, because you post a little bit on LinkedIn and that, was it on LinkedIn or?
No, like on sort of like mostly Facebook sort of stuff, and a little bit Instagram, but not too much. People are a bit more tame on Instagram sort of thing. So, but yeah, I was on Facebook. I did kick back a couple of times, and I sort of got sick of it after a couple of years. But yeah, it's all fun and games, mate. And some of them couldn't take back what they were given, so it was pretty funny.
It's interesting how people can go out of their way to say things to people they don't even know. That's what
exactly. It's wasted, breath, 5 minutes of breath and doing something and just like, oh, righto, whatever, mate. Carry on. But yeah, I've got a fair bit.
Oh, that's the thing was, man, again, I wanted to ask you that because I thought, fuck, it's such a unique name. I'm like, I'll start with that for sure. But, mate, again, appreciate you coming on board to have a chat. Again, as I said, it's just going to be a bit of a random chat today. So one thing I noticed when I was having a little look at your LinkedIn profile, and I want to say thanks for that comment you put on my one of my posts the other week. Again, we'll get into that today. But one thing I noticed, you were at an awards ceremony in 2021 for WorkSafe. Did you want to talk a little bit about that and what that was for?
Oh, yeah. So I think it was end of 2019. I'd come back to, I thought I had enough. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm talking, mate. Yeah, I know. We'll do it later, okay? I'm talking. Do it soon. Good boy. Yeah, so 2019, I'd been away for a year, worked on the wind towers. I sort of got, sick of my job, wanted to explore something else. Went away, and then I've come back to the same job, but sort of same place, different role, because they're great people to work for. Small stonemason company, and a few of the boys are harping on, should get a they've got these free tests out because silicosis was starting to take off then. And I was like, righto. I left it for 11 months, as you do as a bloke. You sort of don't, righto, whatever. I'll do it whenever I can, and don't take much notice. So yeah, I went and got a test, and fair enough, I come back. I was had silicosis. So that day, there and then, I went back to work and sort of quit on the spot. And long story short, in the end, I time off work, and I wanted to do something, get back to work. So I was doing all that with a bloke, John from APM. He's on LinkedIn. He was really good, helped me get back to work, and he nominated me for this award, Return to Worker Award for WorkSafe, for the awards for that year. So yeah, that's how that'll come about.
So with the silicosis, can you explain what that actually is? Again, I saw that as well on your profile, but I hadn't heard of it. So for the listeners, it'd be good to go into a little bit of depth around what it is.
Yeah, so it's like what is it? I forget the word now. I'll just go shock and blank.
That's right.
Hold on a sec. All tongue-tied here.
That's all right. Something in the lungs, you said.
Yeah, so it's like there's such a fine dust coming off the stone.
Yeah.
Like there's I guess there's certain levels of it. Like man-made stuff's got the most, and sandstone. And then you're like get your like marbles and that. They have a bit in it, but nowhere near as much. So the silica dust is what gets in your lungs. And from like, I should be reading up about it heaps. I have a little bit, but not gone into too much depth of it. And just from what my specialist said, like it gets in your lungs and sticks to your lungs. And then from there, like it can can sort of, I guess, fester on its own as well, or it can sort of hover around that same thing. Like different people, it'll just depend on the person how much it like discriminates it like with their lungs and stuff.
Yeah.
Lucky for me, I was only like, I don't know the percentage, but it's pretty low. But still, you don't want to be working in that environment or giving yourself any more chance to, I guess, for it to get worse. So yeah, it sticks on your lungs and can restrict your breathing. And for some people, obviously, that's can be, fatal. So yeah, it's not it's something that's it's getting bad. Like it's bad and it's getting worse.
So is that common with everyone? Like, if you're working in that field of work, are you pretty, like, again, obviously you're a chance, but what are some of like the ways that you can mitigate it? Like just by wearing a mask, or is it you can't really avoid it?
Well, you can, like wearing a mask and stuff, you can, but I reckon like I don't know. There's going to be some way that something's going to get into your lungs, even like when like using all water, like say water cutters and like water jets, and just where I was, they went to full water in the end, which is they're one of the sort of first small companies to do that, and that's about the only like mitigating it that way, and having those like pretty expensive like air pumping into you and sort of filters at the back of them, sort of stuff like that. It's about the only way you can sort of try and mitigate it to, I think it's a fair percentage. Someone said like maybe like 98%, up to 98%, but you'll never know unless you can, I guess, test it every day of how it's going. But as I said before, like once you take that off, there might be particles still in the air, even with water cutting. Even with water cutting, you can smell like some of these products, they absolutely reek. And you can just, it's not good. I reckon even if you can smell it, then something's happening as well.
It's fucking interesting, man. Because again, like you think about when you're a construction worker or even just any field for that, like even demo saws when you're cutting concrete, like you don't realize that the shit that's probably going in your body. Now I'm actually thinking about all the times that I didn't have a mask on when I was cutting concrete. I'm like, fuck, maybe I should check.
Well, I think everyone should. That if you work with concrete, like that's got silica dust in it too. Like there's so many things where people, like as you said with yourself with concrete and that, you would not even bat an eyelid, or think of it, because it's the whole thing is about the stone industry. Whereas there's a lot of other products out there with silica in it too, and people haven't worn masks. And I think it's only it's getting bigger and bigger. I think, and I don't know how they're gonna. People are saying ban the imported stone and all that, man-made stuff, engineered, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know if they'll ever do it. It'd be a good way to. It's a first step in doing that. But yeah, I think you just have to do it solidly. You have to cut out all the cowboys as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mitigate it as much as well, because you won't get rid of it otherwise.
No, that's the thing. A lot of the industries in these days are just built on money, and no one really gives a fuck about the health at the end of the day. Exactly. Which makes it fucking tough. The question I've got for you. So, if you had it, what's the process of? Is it getting rid of it, or like how do you work with it? Like, do you have it for good now, or what does that process look like?
Yeah, you can't get rid of it. At the moment, it's a thing for life. There was a process they were doing where they more or less they were flushing your lungs. So from what I gathered, it was they were more or less drowning one side of your lungs and trying to flush it out. And to my knowledge, they were getting a bit of it out, but I guess if something was implanted there enough, there's, that sort of part of it couldn't. If it was just like, I guess it was a dust particles just hanging around. I don't know where that went because that went quiet. I know they needed like another from $5 million in funding, and it just went quiet. So I guess they didn't get it. And I don't know if it's still going on. But apart from that, you've got it for life. And as I said before, it can like just fester on itself. So hopefully not, mate. We're all good after a couple of years. So we'll see what happens.
I'm sure, mate. I'm sure you're on the mend. That's for sure. So in regards to your own health as well, do you have sort of any tips or tools in place to manage your own? Again, could be mental, could be physical. How do you look after yourself on a day-to-day basis usually?
I'm usually like now I'm very conscious of like dust and stuff. So even like, dust, chemicals, like painting, like there's a lot of, I'm in the bus industry, so you're spraying like body deodorant underneath. So, wearing masks, just doing that. Sort of stuff. Just, being real conscious of doing that. And I like to keep fit as well. Keeping your lungs as good as possible, like as healthy as possible, I guess, like by running and like it's what I do, running or any sort of physical activity can, I think, will hopefully prolong anything to, I guess, be bad for your health. Right, mate.
No, you're spot on, mate. I think the reason I ask you as well is because I see construction, as you would know, a lot of people don't look after themselves at the end of the day. They don't go for runs. They don't fucking go to the gym or whatever it is. So yeah, I was really interested to hear what you actually do, because there are and for the people that are listening, like you shouldn't let it get to a point like what's happened to you. And I think, I'm glad that I've got you on because I wasn't even aware of what silicosis was. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who aren't actually aware of it.
Yeah. Just the other thing too, like even walking, like it doesn't take much to even take that, that 1% step. 1% is better than none. So, but silicosis, it's still like, from what I see, it sort of still seems hidden a bit. Like you see, it pops up every now and then. It's not, you see an ad every now and then, but for something that big, I think it still needs to be broadcast a fair bit more. More needs to be done. It's not, in my opinion, it's just, it seems like there's still not enough, Get the odd government talk for 5 seconds here and there. Like, for example, I got asked to go and meet I think it was a workplace health minister a while ago. Unfortunately, it was doing some 24-hour lockout for some argument about something in Parliament. So I just had to do, so I didn't get to see her, and I just caught up with her advisor and then had to do a bit of a thing with Channel 9 News. Yeah. So I was there for 15 or 20 minutes doing an interview on that. And when it come to actually being on the national news or whatever, Victorian news, I reckon I would have had not even 10 seconds.
Really? Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. I thought I would have had a little bit more just to, I don't know. I thought it sort of felt like a bit of a kick in the pants to me. Like, I've made time for them to go away from work. Work's allowed me, they're all for it, obviously, because they were right into all that sort of stuff, looking after their workers. So, yeah, I don't know. It was, I couldn't believe it. It was like all that time for just such a small snippet. And it was because they were making an announcement that day about new laws for the silicosis as well, and more support for families. So that was sort of, if you're going to do that, maybe just let someone you're interviewing have a little bit more say about, what's happening. Like WorkSafe are pretty good about it and that, like what they done and their sort of process. But yeah, I found it quite interesting. It was that tiny little bit of coverage for something so big.
Yeah, mate, it's an interesting. I'm glad you said that because the thing with the news is, I don't know, again, I'm not sure if you watch it or whatever. I refuse to watch it, but it just clearly goes to show that if it was such an issue, they would have pushed that out there a bit more. And the way I'm thinking at the moment is like what we talked about before with the money sides of things, how they possibly couldn't get rid of the stone in the long run. So maybe them airing that would bring too much awareness to it. I don't know, but then it doesn't make sense if they're going to put new laws in around it.
Yeah, I think there's a new law coming. When was it? There was new laws, and there was like new support for families and that. But yeah, I think there's a new law that passed in Victoria, like coming to, like you have to do it maybe this start of Feb, maybe, where you had to, I could be wrong here, but you had to go full water, I'm pretty sure. Like you had to have a proper working water system. I'm quite certain it was here. But yeah, it was very interesting how all the world works on money, mate, and that's it.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. We could sit here and talk about how money works as well for the next two hours, but again, we won't bore the listeners too much with that.
Nah.
So that was in 2021 when you went for that award. Is that right?
No, it actually got delayed because of COVID.
Oh,
so
right.
It wasn't until 2000 and March 22. I think I didn't end up getting there till.
Oh, March 22. Okay, so it was last year.
Yeah, last. Hold on, mate. Yeah, last year. So it took a while, like COVID, and then like those little spikes kept kicking up, so they kept cancelling it because there was like going to be 500 people there or something like that. So everyone was freaking out every time it was one case.
You were the front runner of it, mate. Dan Andrews. I'm only joking. But mate, I really again, for the listeners that aren't listening, obviously I know you're a mature age apprentice, and I wanted to ask you, what have been some of the challenges you've faced being a mature age apprentice? Because a lot of the work I do are with young men from 16 through to about 24. So I don't necessarily get to talk to too many mature age apprentices. And the thing, when I was doing my apprenticeship, I had one guy in my trade school class who was a mature age, and he was a fucking gun at plumbing, like just an absolute rocket. So yeah, I wanted to obviously get you on and just talk about what it's like being a mature age apprentice and some of the challenges you face.
Yeah, well, firstly, I guess it's hard to try and get a job as a mature age with a lot of companies until I got on with, I was with TransDev. I initially started, and then they swapped over the contract, obviously, to Kinetic. Yeah, that was as I said, like I was off work. I was off work for 5 months, and after a month, I got sick of being off work. And it took me that long. Like, I guess that initial, hold on, mate. That initial, trying to get a job, it was like more or less 5 months of just rejection after rejection. And I was sort of, being a bit older, you sort of a bit more level head, I guess. But it does get to you in the end. You're like, you want to work, and you see some, I guess, seems like some people don't. And they, we could go on about that, but yeah. But yeah, doing that. And I guess another one is like, hold on, mate. Go later, please. Want to finish? Like, I guess still being treated like that, like you are young, until everybody finds out sort of your age, and then they see the sort of work you do, and they see you a bit more switched on, and then they sort of slowly like, right, he's finding your age, and he's like, oh yeah, he's not so he's not going to be, they're like, oh, you're not young and stupid and that. And like, that's probably something they shouldn't say to young people either, because people aren't, not everyone's, well, no one's stupid, so people are all there to do a job. Doing that, and I guess as well, what else was there? I don't know. I had it sort of okay, like as a mature age. I did sort of find it tough going from, I guess, being a stonemason to a mechanic. It's a fair step for me, for someone who's there. I've always liked sort of cars and trucks and all that, but I've never had anything to do with them. So that was a I don't know. I didn't find it too bad apart from that initial, being treated like, I guess, a normal, like young starting 18-year-old apprentice. You don't know shit, this and that.
That's stigma.
Yeah, stigma. Never worked a hard day in your life and all that sort of crap.
Mate, it's so true. And I think that's what it is. Like, for most companies out there, like, you look at an apprentice, like the whole label an apprentice just has a bad rap. In my opinion, like, even being a mature age, like, you attach apprentice to anything and it's like shit kicker, pushes a broom around, doesn't want to be there. It's like, it's just all negative. So it's interesting you say that. Do you have many young guys working with you, or you just sort of work on your own?
No, we did. I say we did because they left.
Why do you reckon they left then?
I think just like the work on the buses is, it's not like a dealership, so it's a good job. Like, it's a lot more sort of servicing side of things, and it's a bit more. It can get busy, but it's, you're not working, I guess, for the customer. You're working, I guess, for the government, but for your, their own company. So there's not that much of a rush to. There is sometimes, but not like a dealership where they just, and they learn so quick there at some dealerships because they have to do this and have to do that. And they have to do it by a certain time. It's someone else's. I guess it's that bloke who owns 1 or 2 trucks. Every time something's out of action, he's losing money. So they sort of just wanted a bit more. They wanted to learn a bit quicker, and on like with a bit, like say they do probably engines and transmissions a lot more, whereas the buses they don't. Our ones anyway, like they're maintained pretty good, so they don't get flogged that much. So they're not, we're not changing engines, transmissions all that often. It's all the sort of bigger stuff. So I guess they just wanted that more variety and to learn a bit more in that that short space you have as an apprentice.
Do you feel like it's based around, again, everyone's different at the end of the day, but like, do you think a lot of the decision making when they go to leave jobs or go to the next place is around money as well? Or is it?
Yeah.
It is? Yeah.
I definitely think like they'll just see money, and then I used to think that too. Like like, I guess when you're young, it's like, oh yeah, that job's got more money. I'll switch over to that. I reckon it is like has probably 70 to 80% to do with it for sure. I'd be going more 80 sort of 20, Then they'd probably hope the next 20% is they are going to learn that bit more. But the motivation. One of the guys left. He went backwards in money, like to go, but he to have the right idea to because he wanted to learn more. So, and I think maybe one day those guys might come back. Who knows? Like, it's where we work's a good place to work. So.
I think it's very rare as well that the more conversations I have around with apprentices and stuff like that, it's very rare you do find a good company that values you. And I think that's the thing as well that I've been doing so much research on is like, if you're going to stay at the one company for the 4 years, you need to clearly define what you want to learn there. And if you are going to keep learning, again, it's all well and good to leave companies, but sometimes it's good to stay in the one spot if there is opportunity for you to learn more than what you would. Because we do look at the dollar signs and go, yeah, fuck it, let's go there. But then that could be the worst thing for you.
Exactly. As I say, you know, the grass isn't always green on the other side. It could just be with an absolute prick of a company, and you know, and have it worse off. You know, all we should do is just sweep up on that. One of the blokes who did leave, he went to somewhere, and it was like that, and he ended up leaving there, going to another big one, and he's quite happy there again. So this other mob, they were smaller, but they were still decent sized company. But yeah, it was second, finished bit way through his second year, and he was still like, they just got him. It's like he started his apprenticeship again. So it's like, no way, stuff this. And there was a bit of like bullying and stuff going on too there, like with you know, they were just taking the piss really of him and the other apprentice. He could sort of take it a bit because he was a bit older, but the other young fella, he was just sort of fresh. So yeah, the money isn't everything, I guess. You really got to, as you said, look into what you're doing and define your boundaries. And if it's not there, then I guess you need to be able to have your managers and supervisors approachable to be able to get that in place, I guess, if it's possible.
Definitely. No, I agree with that. And I think the one thing that is happening at the moment is the generations are changing. So like obviously your generation is different to mine, and then my generation is different to the one below. And the one below, Gen Z, obviously they are a bit more inclined. Well, they do feel like they're inclined, which again, it is what it is. But I think bosses and managers and stuff like that need to start looking at, because they are going to be the future of the business eventually. Like by the time everyone phases out and stuff like that, everything's going to change. So I think it's good for managers and bosses to actually prioritize them, but not to a point where it's like apprentice over project manager or whatever, but just like putting them first and allowing them to have their say, or, you know, even just structuring the way that they do things. But again, I know every company's different, and it is hard to change things when things are working.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, that is a good point. It does, like as I said in that what you posted, and I wrote in there, like you need to be able to speak up as well. So, but the communication from supervisors and managers, I think, still's got a fair way to go. Instead of, you know, just sitting in the they'll see and talk to you, sort of stuff like that. And, but yeah, they do need to communicate a bit better and see what they're thinking and stuff like that. And, you know, as you said, they are the future of the company. As soon as they walk through the door, that's how you should be thinking, I think, as a manager or supervisor, instead of just thinking, oh, yep, got another apprentice, another bloke we can just, you know, get the clean up for another 6 months and then start to do stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. See, the top thing I think our apprentices lose interest is that. Between that and someone offering them money when they still don't know anything is probably the two things.
Yeah. No, you're fucking right. I think like the thing with communication is because I did 9 years on the tools and then 2 years off the tools coaching workers, and that is by far the number one issue that I see with everyone when it comes to skills shortages and people leaving companies and that, because the thing with the apprenticeship is you sign on the dotted line and then you go into the company, whether you're 16, 17, you got no idea what you get yourself into. You just think you get paid money to learn a trade. But as you said, 6 months goes by, you're pushing a broom around, you're getting treated like shit or bullied or whatever, and no one sort of asked you what you want to get out of your apprenticeship. I think that's another thing as well. It's like clear, as you said before, like clearly defining why you're doing your apprenticeship. Like, what are you just going to work, or do you want to actually build a career off it? Because again, you can fucking make a lot of money if you run your own business and work for companies. Like, there's money there, but is that why you're doing it, or are you just doing it because that's what you got told at school?
Yeah, exactly. I know one apprentice here, someone asked him like, so why'd you want to become an apprentice, like one of the mechanics. And he's like, oh, I just saw the job and went for it. Righto, that's interesting, mate. We'll see how that goes in like a year down the track. But I thought that was a really interesting answer. Like, I don't think I've, ever heard an apprentice say that. Usually apprentices sort of do something because that's sort of the line of work they want to do. I think a lot of these days, like young fellas don't have the vision. Obviously not all of them, but that vision, as you said, like beyond the apprenticeship of what they want to do. They just think, oh, let's do this. And that's, that's stable for 4 years. And, as you said, you can make a lot of money if you can, upskill yourself during that sort of time as well. Push for things, So, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard thing to see what they, young kids want to do these days. You never know.
Yeah. So. I know it is. It's fucking very interesting. Like, I think it's a weird answer when people say, "Oh, I went for it," or Again, I'm all about trial and learn, but fuck, like no one asks us the questions when we go through school or life. What do you want to do? What are you interested in? Because you go and do something you're not interested in, you're not going to last.
Hello. Sorry, mate, I didn't hear that last few. Hello.
That's it.
Can you please go and smash it on the mat over there?
What was I saying? Yeah, no one really asks you what your interests are at school. Like, as I said, you sort of go through the system. It's either apprenticeship or university, really. Or you get a job at a fucking fish and chip shop. Yeah, it's pretty fucking ruthless, but it's true. No one really says to you, oh, you can go start a business or whatever. And I know you need experience, but fuck, like even with the apprenticeship sides of things, like you do your apprenticeship and obviously get qualified. All of a sudden, you can fucking run your own business, work 3 days a week, make more money. Like it's really a no-brainer, but it's not. I don't know. It's not really set out to be like that because you look at the way the industry is now of like work 6-7 days a week, 12-hour days, fucking don't look after yourself, drink and do drugs and stuff on the weekend. Like it's just a fucking shit environment. So there's nothing appealing to it.
Well, that's it. Like there's no, I guess there's no mentoring for people through their apprenticeship, as you're saying, to want to have a business after it. There's none of that. Like there's not even like some companies I've been with, like it's not even like people, I guess, like some people just become supervisors. The role's vacant, so we need someone. Oh, yep, here's the best fit here. We'll just chuck him in instead of having the apprentices and looking at them closely, I guess, or it doesn't matter. It can be any workers, and then I guess getting that mentoring for them to become that, even if they do or they don't. Then they're still, I guess, got an extra layer to, or string to their bow. Because if they do leave, they might be able to take that and enhance themselves somewhere else.
I think, it's a good point you make, Dan, as well. And I think the only thing with the mentoring stuff is when you've got a business owner that's running their own company, they necessarily probably want you all to stay around at the end of the day. So they're not going to be inclined to get you to go and do that. But I think it's the same thing with the trade schools. Like trade school could definitely be going off. I'm speaking for plumbing here, going off what the trade school system's like. Like it's just some of the shit that you do there is just completely outdated as well. And this is no offense to the teachers there, but most of the teachers are quite outdated as well from like all the technology and stuff that's coming in now. So yeah, I think there's a lot that needs to change, but I don't know. It's interesting. It's just every time I have conversations, it's nothing seems to be changing.
Yeah, I think slowly. It's trade school is like that. Trade schools comes back to like the first thing we're talking about money. Like like most of them aren't there to teach or anymore. It's all about. Well, it's not the teacher's fault. I think it seems like the institutes like we'll churn out as many people as we can. We're going to make, and we'll just make, that much money. Doesn't seem like they give a shit about you staying there and learning properly. Just get this ticked off, get that ticked off, get that ticked off, and fucking see you later. Get the next one. So but not all, but some.
I think most again, speak for obviously our own experiences. I think, like when I was going through, I've said this a few times and I'm not proud of it, but I did my whole roofing component. I just signed it off. I didn't even do it. I just fucking signed it off and put it in. And again, it goes to show why I failed my journeymans, because I didn't actually do it, but failed the roofing part of it. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Like, again, I haven't been back to the trade school since I finished my apprenticeship. I only went back once, and it just, I don't know, the energy's just not there. I don't know. I haven't been back recently, but I can't imagine it's changed much. Like, it's just not a fucking environment where you're like, yes, I'm going to trade school, I get to see the boys or whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah. That's not how I felt. Are you sort of similar, or?
Yeah. I met a couple of good blokes there, but they're all the same, mate. They just want to, get their shit done and get out of there, because it's just, and they're like, all the blokes are hanging out with their mature age as well. Most of them. There's a couple of younger ones, but yeah, they're all got kids and stuff as well, and they just, they got them, get our stuff done and get out of it, because it's not really a place you want to be hanging around for too long in. So, what trade school did you go to? You didn't go to Holmes Club, did you?
No, I went to VU in Sunshine. So I haven't even told you. I grew up in, I lived in Woodend for 18 years. Do you know Woodend?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So Woodend, 18 years. Then I was in Gisborne for 4 years. Then went overseas, and then came back, lived in Diggers Rest, then went to Ascot Vale, and now I'm in Morocco. So
in Morocco?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So currently in Morocco, heading to London on Saturday.
To live?
I'm going to live in Dubai, but I'm going to London to just catch up with some old clients and probably watch a couple of Premier League games, which would be good. So, but completely off topic. But yeah, no, I hadn't even told you.
No, that's all right. So. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So do you, are you going to be coming back here every so often, or what's your...
Nah.
Is that the sort of plan? Nah.
No. It's fucking funny. It's I don't know. I went through a pretty rough breakup last year, and I was like, I'd always wanted to go overseas, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. So I sold my car, sold everything, and as I came over and did a few countries, I left in May. I just started to realise, I was like, fuck, like, I'm done with Australia. Like, I just, obviously I've still got family and stuff there, but I've only got a couple of friends left. And yeah, like, I just feel like there's a lot more opportunity around the globe for me. And again, it allows me to have conversations like with yourself and others around having the business online. So for me, obviously going to Dubai is going to be good to set up, because they don't have the taxes there. There's a lot of business opportunity and stuff like that. So to be there, and then if I do need to go back to Australia to see family and stuff, I can just fly in between, because that's the center of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's cool as.
Yeah, so no, it's a bit different. Again, I didn't know if you knew, because on my LinkedIn it says Marrakesh, which is Morocco at the moment, but I wasn't sure if you'd seen that.
No, I didn't. So I looked at your thing again before, yeah, I didn't look at that. So I just tried to look at like other. Yeah, I just had to try to look at your work stuff, but I only said like about plumbing for a year, and I was like, surely he's been plumbing for longer than that.
Yeah, I actually need to update that. I was thinking about that the other day. I started when I was 16, so I'm 27 now. So I did a school base to start with. So yeah, I do need to update that, because yeah, it does. I've only got the one company that I actually enjoyed working at sitting there on the LinkedIn.
Got the year and 7 months of that good company.
Yeah, that was it. But no, I'll actually, thanks for reminding me. I'm actually going to change that and put all the, so I actually I came across my old resume the other day and fuck, I don't know who built that out.
Yeah, it's a bit, yeah, I got my wife to help me in the last one, I think. It's just something not my strong point, I guess. Stuff like that.
That's it, mate. That's another thing as well. I always say is like, when you're not necessarily quote unquote good at something, always outsource it. There's always people out there that can help you out, like especially when it comes to resumes or cover letters and stuff like that. And I guess, Dan, the last question I've got for you, mate, is what's your plans for after your apprenticeship?
I don't know, mate. I'm going to be going on 41 by then. I'm just trying to set
the number.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not sure, eh? I've got a mate that's in the marine industry. You know, there is a few options out there. At the moment, it's, you know, I'm just going to establish myself where I am at the company and get finished there. It's okay, mate. I'll fix it soon. All right? Yeah, I haven't got like a, you know, I want to work there for a while and see how it goes and that. And if I guess, you know, if I think I know enough to be able to branch out, then yeah, I think I might, just to get a bit more experience, and then I think I'll probably, you know, with the way this company's going, always sort of, if I do go anywhere, I'll probably eventually come back to it. Mainly because, you know, it's a good job, good sturdy job, it's got good money, and like there's 2 depots like within 20 minutes of my house. So it's, you know, that's sort of appealing, you know, especially while the young fella's growing up. Yeah, until he sort of can look after himself, I guess, you know, that sort of teenage sort of years, and can trust him not to burn the house down. I might be able to go away and do some work somewhere eventually, you know. I know I've started. Obviously, I've done an apprenticeship before in stonemasonry, but, you know, I guess I did do a bit of traveling when I was younger and single and stuff, but I wouldn't mind sort of, you know, maybe even go overseas and work somewhere, you know. The wife's sort of open to that as well, but, well, yeah. There's no, while he's still running amok at 3 years old, for a while, well, I think we'll just stay put here for a while.
Where would you go if you were to pick a couple of countries or a country?
Well, probably. It's weird. I've got no desire to go to the UK at all, but I would go. Like, I would go there just to, I guess, go and have a look and work there. I would go there. My wife wants to go. She's always thought about moving there. So I would actually go there and work, you know, just to something different. I'm always up for that. There, maybe it'd be pretty dangerous, but Africa.
Africa, yeah.
Say hi, people.
Hey. Hey, mate.
There you go.
He loves it.
Oh, yeah. Probably Africa. I don't know. I've been to Africa, like traveling and that, but I know blokes who've got brothers and stuff that have been there and worked. And, you know, I think just something like that, because it'd be a unique experience. You know, we'd have to fly in, fly out, obviously, but yeah, it is really good money. But I think the experience would be more worth it. You know. After traveling through there and just, you know, race into the compound and have 4 meter high gate shit slam shut on you after it. Well, it's an interesting place to be, that's for sure.
Mate, I'm glad you said that, because there is, as I said, there is a lot of opportunity out there when it comes to some of these countries. Like, even in Morocco at the moment, Marrakesh, no one's really heard of it. And I've walked around and there are just fucking buildings going up everywhere. Like, again, the safety on them and stuff like that isn't great. Like, you're not going to be to a high standard as you would in Australia, but there are people like they are doing some phenomenal work over here. I think another place that I've been looking at, just to give people a bit of an idea, is the Middle East, like Dubai, Saudi Arabia. Like these countries are going right up at the moment, and there's fucking heaps of money in it. So if you even again, if you get to a point where that's an option, I think the thing that people battle with is the heat. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's you can't use the weather as an excuse to go and experience something different, because mate, you may go over there and then all of a sudden you love it, or you end up fucking meeting someone there, some prince, and then you go into business with him or whatever. So it's like there is an opportunity, big bold world of opportunity out there.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen, eh? Like, you can only sort of give it a go. If it doesn't work out, you can always come back or find somewhere else. Like Morocco, I'd love to go to Morocco, because I used to, when I was in Portland, it was right on the coast. So I surfed for nearly every day for 14 years. So somewhere like Morocco, I always see that in the surf mags and stuff like that. So
yeah,
if you're interested to buy in that, I wouldn't, I've only ever flown through Doha, never gotten out, but there's stuff like that really interests me, like real unique countries, Well, I'd rather do that than somewhere like London or something where everyone goes. Doing something unique like Africa or Morocco, more or less class of Africa, or stuff like that. There, even Antarctica, working there for one of those 6-month contracts or whatever. That'd be pretty cool, I reckon. It'd be freezing, but it'd be good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. People sort of aren't aware of this side of construction as well. Like you sort of think if you're an Australian or whatever, like you do your apprenticeship and then that's it for you. But like, again, you can go to London and do that, or you can go to some of these other countries as we talked about and fucking really meet some people and see what you're made of. Because I say it all the time, like you don't usually grow up until you get out of the place you grew up. And I think that's the thing. Like, but no one puts emphasis on this, and it becomes a lot harder when you get older. Like, again, obviously you have priorities, you have kids, you have houses, stuff like that. So when you're young, or even for yourself, you know what I mean? Like you can still do it. I shouldn't sit here and say that, because you can still do it.
No, it's all good, man. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's No, I'm glad you bring that up, because mate, I fucking would recommend it. That's for sure.
Yeah. A lot of the young fellas are, sort of tell them, I guess it's detriment to the company, right? But it's better for them too if they go and experience stuff and then come back. There could be something going on in some other country, like a certain, just be something as small as like a certain tool they've made, or like an idea of how to do something. And you bring that back and, it enhances the company fivefold sort of thing in maintenance wise. Like it could be anything. As you said, you never know, eh? Networking anywhere could lead you to who bloody knows where, especially when you're young.
I think that's the great thing is if you can have an open mind to some of these things and just trust and have a bit of faith, because the thing is, it's high. I wouldn't say it's high risk, but for the analogy, high risk, high reward at the end of the day. Like if you're going to throw yourself into a new country and go and do some work, you're going to learn a lot about yourself, and obviously a lot about what they do over there. And as I said, there's a lot of people are driven by money, and these Middle Eastern countries and Africa and that, like there's fucking plenty of money there. So
there is tons, especially in that there. Yep, there's a lot out there. Get the experience and you get the money and you get a trip of a lifetime. But could be good, could be bad. Who knows?
That's right.
But you'll learn from it. So
that's right. No, 100%, mate.
So one day, mate, we'll see what happens. Hopefully. So see what happens.
I'll see you in Dubai next year or in a couple of months.
Actually, there's a bloke, Apprentice at trade school. I just got talking. I've never met him till the other day. And I got talking to him then yesterday. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm just apprentice working for myself. And I was like,
Interesting.
I didn't ask him, but I was like, I sort of thought about it. Then another bloke, he told another bloke I like hang out with there too. He's like, yeah. I didn't know if he was joking or not. I was like, I just don't know how you can do that. How you can be an apprentice and work by yourself for yourself. Who signed you up? Yeah, like.
Yeah, that's.
Because he was telling him like, oh, he can just go to a company near the end and they'll sign him up. No one's going to do that because they have not seen it work. So I can't see that working. So.
No, that's weird. Yeah, I've never heard of that. Because as I said, you do need to sign off at the end of the 4 years or whatever, unless he's either fucking taking the piss out of you, or two, he's fuck, I don't know. Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a bit of a character. Like, I don't know how to explain him. Very nice guy, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't know about it. It's he's told a few people though, so it's, I don't know. It can't work. Like, it's impossible to do your trade by yourself.
Unless he's in and out of work or something like that. Maybe that's the case. Maybe he's, fuck if I know. That's an interesting one.
I don't know. The only other thing I could think of is works for his dad, but you still need someone who's qualified. They can't just be a truck driver and sign you off, so because you're working on their trucks. I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting one, that's for sure. So I don't know. I'll probably see him tomorrow, so
I'll ask him.
Dig a little deep, see what he reckons.
Ask him, see if he wants a job over in Dubai.
You work for yourself over there, mate. I don't give a shit.
That's right, mate. No, fucking oath. Again, as I said, I'm looking forward to getting there and learning a little bit about the industries and how. I think that's been a good thing around what I've been doing is I have learned a lot about how some of these different countries operate, but at the same time, they all have the exact same issues like communication, skill shortage, alcohol, drugs, bullying, stuff like that. So it is a worldwide issue. But I definitely believe there's as time goes on, there's room for growth and room for people like yourself, again, who are obviously in the industry and want to make a career out of it, because you will make a fucking career out of it because you enjoy what you do. So it's an interesting topic, but if anyone's listening right now and you want to go overseas, fucking book your flight and do it.
Exactly. I would be if you're young and just finish your apprenticeship or something and want to do something adventurous, get out there. The world doesn't stop for you, so do it while you can, because you never know what's going to happen.
100%, mate. No, great advice. Well, again, bro, I love and appreciate you for coming on board and chatting. And I'll have this up in a couple of weeks' time anyway, and I'll tag you in it, stuff like that. But yeah, again, really appreciate you coming on. And I'll put is there any links or stuff you want me to put in the show notes, like your LinkedIn and that, if people want to reach out to you?
Yeah, you can put the LinkedIn. I don't know how to do it. Can you do it? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I do it. I do all that. I'll post it for you, and then you can just reshare it on your LinkedIn.
Yeah. If they want to reach out, let it go for it. I don't know how much it'll be there to me, but if they want to have a chat, and especially the young, there's not many young apprentices on here, I don't think. So I don't know. I reckon it's a good thing for them to get on here and not share all their shit either. Like, there's a few people I see that's sick. I don't know. But anyway, won't go into that.
I think the thing with socials is it's a great platform to reach anyone in the world and have an impact. But again, I think it also comes with its repercussions. But as you said, we won't get into that. But again, mate, I appreciate you coming on board, and we'll touch base soon.
No worries, mate. Thanks heaps for having me. It's as I said, first one I've done. We'll see how it goes.
No, it's good, mate. It's good. You did well.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. You enjoy your time over there, and I hope it all goes well for you.
Will do, mate. We'll keep in touch.
Will do. Cheers, mate.
See you, bro.